Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. We are your crypto podcast for the man's man, and yes, the ladies that love them. Hey, this is a special episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you know exactly what's going on. If you're listening to the pod on, say, Apple, go ahead and listen. But if you get the chance, pop over to the YouTube channel because this is a special one. So I am Jay Chains, your co-host. Joined with me, as always, is my compadre, my amigo, my bandolero, BitBoy.
Cowboy BitBoy.
What did we say that you're outlaw BitBoy now?
Outlaw BitBoy. I am a financial outlaw. There's no question about that,
No
guys.
question. Now, so just so we're all aware, and you could go back about a year or so, I guess it was April of 2019, we did a special episode with Stash here in Texas. This is probably one of the last times Ben was here. And if you remember, you looked like Hank Williams Jr. with a hat.
That's what they say. They say I look like Hank, okay, with the glasses on. I don't know as much about the outlaw hat as the one I had on before, but they say I'm basically Hank Williams light.
Junior.
Light Williams cat or Hank Williams Cash.
You're a Cat Williams.
Like bit.
You're like Cat Williams.
He's an old crackhead. He's an old crackhead. He got beat up by a 13-year-old in the town I used to live in. That's where I used to live there. That was like right in my town. No, I'm the Bitcoin Cash to Hank Williams Jr., okay? I am Hank Williams Cash. That's me.
Hank Williams SV.
I'm the knockoff. Yeah, actually, I might be more like Hank Williams SV. Guys, I'm living that Texas life right now, okay? I really have always wanted to be a cowboy, okay? Now, they told me when I got this hat, I also got some boots. I got some real cowboy boots. I'd love to show them to you, but I'm not that flexible.
They are ostrich boots.
Ostrich boots. That's right. Because I'm light and fast. Actually, I'm neither one of those things. Like an ostrich. I'm a little top heavy like an ostrich, I guess.
But big shout out.
And I will claw you. I will claw you.
You would. You've got little talons like that. But big shout out to Connor over at Allen's Boots here in Austin, Texas. Yeah. Hooked up my man. He's looking sharp. You're looking like an outlaw. You even got the plaid shirt, which, man.
I'm living that cowboy life. And that's what we want to talk to you guys about today.
The wild, wild west.
The wild west of crypto. How is cryptocurrency like the Wild West? Excited to get into this episode. Got some really cool insight we're going to give you guys on where crypto is right now. And, will it ever be tamed? Jay Chains the Kid. Will it ever be tamed? Cowboys. All right, guys. Well, let's go and get in the episode. Let's wax it. All right, guys. I had to put the hat to the side. It's so hot. It's a little warm in here right now because it's so hot here in Austin. Steaming out here. Kind of hot. Makes you a little hot under the collar. Kind of like investing in cryptocurrency.
Ooh, it could. A little hot and bothered sometimes.
Well, I didn't say hot and bothered. That's a whole different thing. That's the way I feel when we're in studio together. A little hot and bothered. You have such a nice beard, man. You were going to trim it at one point, but you went against that.
You know what? Before, on the last episode that we did from our old format, I made a shocking announcement that I was going to cut my beard. Well, I chickened out because I have to follow through what Aaron D. Johnston told us.
Ooh, our boy, Aaron D.
Aaron D. You got to grow your beard out for 1 calendar year. I figured this was the best year to do it. Why chicken out halfway through? So I'm doing it. I'm letting it go.
I love it, man. And, when it comes to cryptocurrency, there's no chickening out.
No chickening out.
When you're in crypto, you are in it. And
you need strong hands.
Big, strong hands. And a phrase you hear all the time is, crypto is like the Wild West. What do you think they mean when they say that, whoever they are?
You know what? First off, I've always wanted a T-shirt that says, who are they? Because everyone says they this, they that. Who are they?
Yeah.
Anyway. So the Wild West of crypto to me is, and now I feel like it was a little bit more wild back in 2017 during the ICO craze, right? That was like, to me, the true Wild West, the frontier, if you will. The original get everybody in. Because back before then, it really wasn't all that huge. But now, there was really
You had to corral them up. You had to corral them up.
See, we're just making all sorts
Do
of
a little
references.
cattle drive, okay? Herd them cats into crypto.
We did that. Well, we didn't do it. Well,
We played a little role.
we played a role. I feel good about that. But so now, obviously, as things progress and as the ecosystem gets a little bit larger, you get a little more regulation. I mean, we're not there. It's not tightly regulated yet. So we're still in the Wild West days.
Yeah, and I think that's true. And the funny thing is, it seems like sometimes the further along in crypto we move, to me, it's almost like the further back I think we are. Like sometimes I really think about where we're at in crypto with the regulation, and like it feels like we're far. A lot of people would say like, oh, it's almost like the mid 90s of the internet, and I'm like, well, the mid 90s in the internet, anybody could jump on and use it pretty easy. It might take a while to realize you could get off AOL and actually onto the internet, but you have the Netscape browser, and anybody could use it. Blockchain, it's not there yet. I'm starting to think we're even earlier. Ooh. Like we might be more like in the 80s of the internet right now.
Like the Middle Ages?
The Middle Ages. We are in the Middle Ages. We got to have the Knights of the Crypto Roundtable.
Ooh, looks like you got to go take your hat and your boots back because...
we might have to be putting on an armor suit.
Chain link.
Chain link.
Oh!
Chain link armor here. Okay, where is my mesh chain link? Okay, I need that as opposed to my chaps with no back. So, okay. So I tend to think that we're sometimes much earlier on than, people give us credit for in cryptocurrency. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about is why do you think, like, let's take crypto out of it. Mm-hmm. When people say something's like the wild, wild west, what do you think they mean by that specifically? Like that comparison?
No rules, anything goes, scams, all sorts of nefarious, yet fun activities.
Yeah, there were some fun activities back then. If you guys have watched the show Westworld. But anyways, I digress. Yes, it's because of no regulation. Now, here's something a lot of people don't know about the Wild West. And it has a lot to do, actually, with cryptocurrency. So in the Wild West, each town had its own bank. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, before a certain year, I don't know exactly what the year was. It might have been the early 1800s. There was no standardized banknote for cash in the United States.
Wasn't there like 100 different notes or 1,000 different, some crazy number, right?
I think there are thousands. Yeah. Because each town had its own banknote. At one time, it was estimated that somewhere between 50% and 75% of all money in the United States was counterfeit.
Ooh.
Yeah. Counterfeit. You could spend it, but it wasn't real.
Wouldn't that be fun if you could just print hundreds?
I know. That's what people were doing back in the day. So what ended up happening from that is actually very crucial to why we ended up needing cryptocurrency. And you can kind of see the world, the United States, taking a full 360 degrees here, okay? It starts out, we got counterfeits everywhere. You got no way to verify that a banknote is actually a real banknote because you could have just made up a name, okay? And you can use that. So what happened is they ended up coming up with, the Federal Reserve and basically one standardized dollar, one standardized banknote that signified a dollar. Now there's certain hallmarks that you could put in that piece of paper and people would know whether or not that was an actual dollar or not. So what we did is we had all of these different forms of money that people were using and accepting, and it made sense because you had your own bank. They weren't tied to a federal system. They could print it as they needed, and they could kind of control the inflation, the supply and the demand in the little town where they were from. Mm-hmm. So then, once all this counterfeit stuff started happening, they come up with their own standardized banknote, which is where really fiat currency that was not backed by the U.S. dollar started in the 70s. Okay, but even up until the 70s, everything was backed federally. You had $1. Now, once you removed us from the gold standard, now what is paper? I mean, what is cash now?
It's a value that somebody told you that's what it's worth.
Exactly, just like Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
to some extent, right? I mean, well, Bitcoin's backed by more principles, but I mean, it's trust in that.
It's backed by math.
It's backed by math, right? So the point here is a lot of people say this. They say, oh, there's no reason that we need 5,000 cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap. Are there too many cryptocurrencies right now?
Yeah. One could say yeah.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made for that for sure. But the point here is before we had cash paper money, we had thousands of individual banknotes, right? So it's almost like full circle now. We started with these thousands of different banknotes. It became standardized into one. And now with the birth of cryptocurrency, it's like maybe now we could go back to that other system. Because the difference is with cryptocurrency, there's trust. With those banknotes, where there were thousands of banknotes, there was no trust in them. So it's almost like a perfection of that system, where whatever community you're in, or whatever, like for instance, if you're in the Dogecoin community, okay, you want to transact with Dogecoin between each other, you have the right as that community to kind of decide on the value of that, of course, based on, supply and demand, buying and selling. It's not like you just place arbitrary amounts on it,
right?
But that community can really control, the value of that cryptocurrency, kind of like the towns could control their own supply and demand with their own banknotes. So I think it's really interesting when people make this Wild West comparison. People don't realize there's actually a lot deeper comparison there than just saying like, things that are unregulated. There's a lot of actual kind of similarities between the Wild West and cryptocurrency.
So who's the John Wayne of crypto projects?
Well, I'm definitely the Hank Williams, like Hank Williams SV.
Yeah. This
didn't work so well. I kind of look like Yosemite Sam.
How's your 10-gallon hat over
Yosemite Sam. That's funny. Who is the John Wayne? I would say the John Wayne of cryptocurrency is Roger Ver. He don't take anything from anybody.
That's true.
Hey, he's a man's man. He's got he's a brown belt, I think. And
oh, that's right, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
He's a brown, so his hands are loaded weapons.
Please.
What, you think you could take him?
I probably outweigh him by a lot. I mean, he could start punching and kicking and stuff, but
you, dude. He could get you, man. Look, man. Those people with the really trained, fighting styles, they're gonna get you every time.
I could take a couple hits, but I'll just bear hug him, take him to the ground, and just pummel him.
I don't know, man. How tall is he, you think?
He's a short little guy.
Is he?
I think he's probably like 5'8".
I always had a rule, man. Like, I did a lot of fighting growing up. I did a lot of fighting as a kid and a teenager and an early adult person. And I always had one rule, man. I could throw it with the best of them.
He's 6 feet tall.
Okay.
So he's my height.
Yeah. I can throw it with the best of them. Okay. I can take a punch, for sure. I've taken a lot of punches in my life. The thing I always refused to do, I would not fight someone who was either a college wrestler or a trained fighter. They're going to get you every time. They know what to do.
They got the technical skill.
They got the technical. You can't just bear hug one of these guys and rip them down like you can somebody else.
Like a Kimbo Slice.
Exactly, dude. They can get you in that submission. Okay, those submissions are where they really get you, because you think you're just bear hugging them. Meanwhile, they're up behind you. They got you like a freaking
in a chicken wing.
They got you in a chicken wing. Okay, and before you know it, like, I got in a fight when I was a kid. I was probably 16 or 17 with one of my good friends. I mean, you know how when you're friends, dude. If we were friends when you're teenagers, we would have thrown down.
We would
have scrapped at some point. No question about it. So this guy, okay, he was a wrestler, man. He was a good wrestler too. He almost won the state title, all kinds of stuff. And we were good friends, but we got into it one time, man. I always knew I could whoop him. Like, I always knew I could whoop him. Nope. Trust me. We had fought before. He didn't stand a chance. Once he had that real professional fighting, professional wrestling thing under his belt, not his championship belt, he was able to take the belt from me. He put me in a hold. He threw me up against a wall so hard, my whole entire head was bleeding. We were at the beach, dude, on spring break. I went out to the beach, and I'm walking down the beach. I got blood just head to toe, just pouring down me. And I'm just kind of walking around like, I'm, the dazed. Honey badger. I'm dazed. I'm the honey badger. I don't care that I'm bleeding. I'm just kind of pissed that I let him throw me up against a wall. I got a scar. Can you see the scar on my head? See if you can see a scar on my head. Is it that side?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's that side or maybe that side. I think it's over here. I got a big scar on one side of my head from getting thrown up against this wall. Because I underestimated a professional fighter.
Wow.
You can't do that.
You don't make that mistake twice, I assume.
I do. I never have again. I always make sure I vet the guy I'm fighting a little bit, I haven't thrown fisticuffs in probably a while.
So we are so far off topic.
No, this is Wild West, dude.
It's Wild West.
So, Wild West, man.
What's the cutoff age where getting into a fight is acceptable, you think?
Woo. I'd have to say 22.
That's a great I mean, at that point, you're getting ready to get out of college. Your child days are over.
Yeah. Now, I've been in some, over the age of 22, I've been in some shoving, some escalating moments, okay? But once you're over that age and you're adult and you know you're facing, getting in big time trouble, you don't want to be locked away in the, in the jail by the sheriff in the town in the Old West,
Yeah.
But you don't want to be locked away. And so the fact is, you're getting a lot of these moments, okay, with somebody. I might have gotten in one of these recently. I'll just say that. I might have gotten in one of these moments in the last 2 months.
Yep.
Okay?
I know.
Where I got into it with a guy pretty hot and heavy. Not hot and heavy. That sounds weird.
Whoa.
That sounds...
It's thrown up against walls, hot and heavy. Man,
this is getting...
Next episode's going to be spicy.
Wow. This is getting out of control. No, I got into it. It was a guy... a guy started yelling at me on a plane, man, and we got into it for once we got off the plane for sure. But it was this moment of like, all right, we're yelling at each other. We're kind of in each other's face, okay? I was totally in the right, by the way. We're getting into it. And thank God, like, I'm making sure people don't have cameras and there's nobody videotaping it, because I don't want to end up on that. And we're getting into it, but it's this moment where we're both adults and we both realize, like,
what are we doing here?
I ain't gonna swing on you. We were chest to chest. I ain't gonna swing on you. I don't want to go to jail.
You got things to lose.
You got things to lose. When you're young, you don't understand what you have to lose.
That's good.
And that's why you get in a lot of fights when you're a kid. Now, there's a whole group of people I know never been in fights in their life.
Come on, man. You got to at least get into one fight.
That's crazy.
When I was a kid, you got to know what a punch feels like.
You got to know, dude.
You got to know what it takes to get one and give one.
Absolutely, man. I think so. I mean, I think that's part of being a man. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm confrontational, and when you're confrontational, that can lead you to a lot of places. But I would much rather be confrontational than get ran over.
Good point.
Good
point.
I don't think that's the way to live, man. But the long and the short of it is here, man, is I think Roger Ver would destroy you.
Fight. I mean, if you want to set up a pay-per-view Vegas, I'll be in on it. I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with it.
Is it boxing or is it jiu-jitsu?
I mean, it had to be jiu-jitsu.
Well, then I'm going to get smoked, dude. I don't even know how to do jiu-jitsu.
Now, that would be interesting, get him out of his fighting style.
That was like when it was Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Dude, Floyd Mayweather Floyd Mayweather could have won that fight in the first round.
Well, Conor's not a boxer, man. There's no way he could sustain that, that time frame. He's used to, 3-minute rounds?
Yeah.
And then a boxing round was, 7 or 8?
Yeah. Wait, what? 7 to 8 minutes?
Yeah.
No, boxing rounds still 3 minutes.
Are they?
No, it's just 12 rounds.
Oh, that's what it was. It was 12 rounds. Okay.
12 rounds as opposed to, I think, 3 5-minute rounds maybe for championship fights or something like that. Whatever it is for MMA. I don't watch MMA that much, man. I used to watch it a pretty good bit, but now they all kind of look the same to me. If there's a really big fight, you know what I like, dude? I like heavyweights, dude.
Like
we talked about this.
Slugfests.
I like to see them dude, the Adrian Bronner versus Tyson Fury fight. That was a good fight.
I was reading a comment on one of our shows. Someone said, "Oh, Jay Chains looks like Tyson Fury." I'm like, no, I don't.
No, he doesn't, dude. He doesn't look like Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, dude. You look good, man.
Thanks.
Oh, by the way, what's up with our Tyson fight? We were gonna go watch that, remember? And I think now, dude, let's check out the details on that Tyson fight, dude.
Isn't it? It's
he's fighting Roy Jones Jr.
Right, somewhere else in the world, or is it here in the States?
No, I think there's no audience, dude. It's Saturday, November 28th. Let's see. It's an exhibition. Let's see if you can get tickets to it. It's an exhibition fight. Because we said we were going to watch it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to. Offers. But if we can go to this, dude, we're going to go to this, dude.
And looking this up, it appears as though Roy Jones Jr. was going to maybe back out of the fight. But
that's what I heard. Yeah.
But they've figured it out, so they're going to be moving forward with this.
Yeah. Let's see if you can get tickets. Are there tickets? Fight card, pay-per-view. I don't think you can get tickets. We're going to look into this, though. And if we can get tickets to it, we're going to go.
And we will live stream from there.
We'll live stream the fight, dude. Can you live stream a pay-per-view fight? I don't know if you can. We can do it before the fight.
We could do a live stream episode.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to happen, man. I think it's going to be, like, how crappy is that? Mike Tyson comes back for a comeback, and he's going to freaking knock out Roy Jones Jr. We're going to miss it because old Rona has knocked out our ability to watch a freaking fight in person.
There's a knockout before the knockout.
The knockout before the knockout. Well, guys, we covered it all today.
This was
a good episode.
I really hope that at some point our editors to this show can throw in a couple of those whistles for the Wild West.
The whistles for the Wild West. Yeah, I love it, dude. They will add that for sure. I can assure you that it's going to happen. Yes. So that is all we got. We're going to get a little more into crypto in the next episode. Okay, we kind of bounced around everywhere today, but it was fun. Had a good talk. I got a flipping cowboy hat. I look like Yosemite Sam. Until next time, grow your beards and your portfolios.
We out.